Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close I could take sweet victory. I know this life meant for me. Yeah, why would you bet on Goliath when we got Bet David? Valuetainment, giving values contagious. This world of entrepreneurs, we get no value to hate it. How they run, homie, look what I become. I'm the one.
Okay, episode 386. Folks, there's so many different weird legal things going on having to do with law, lawyers. You know these lawyers, how they are. They know the law. And you need to talk to them to educate us on what's going on. Today, we have probably the most famous lawyer in America today that you see her on TV pretty much every week. And she likes to fight. I don't know why. She likes fights. She likes picking fights. She likes it when they pick fights against her, but she doesn't back down. We have the great Alina Habba in the house today. How are you, Alina?
Hi, I'm good.
It's been a long time. We haven't seen you for a long time. Everything good?
A little busy.
Yeah, that's good. Very good. But no, obviously we got a lot of stories, guys, we're going to be going through today. For sure want to get an update with what's happening with the President Trump, with all the different legal battles. Tom, I think you just gave a update this morning that the SBF case, the judge is the same judge that was on the E. Jean Carroll case, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
So it'll be interesting to see how he handles that. You know, with SBF, would get some of your feedback on that. Then there's this guy, I don't know if you've heard of him. This guy's name is Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. He's going through some legal issues. We have some videos of a guy that he claims other people like it his way. What's his name? I think his name is Usher, if I'm not mistaken, right? He has a video that came out talking about Diddy. There's a couple Justin Bieber videos, which we'll show, Rob, I'm sure you have. And then aside from that, we have some stories from Ronna McDaniel. She got paid, highest paid person on NBC, apparently. 20 minutes, she was getting paid $30,000 an hour. Can you imagine negotiating a contract like that? She gets paid $30,000 an hour. We'll tell you the math on how that worked out. Stay tuned. You'll see why it's $30,000 an hour. It take a few minutes to fully see what's going on there. Pennsylvania voter ballot, you know, all of a sudden is saying we need to know the dates. We need to all the information. So some people are not happy. Some people are happy, but it's progress towards actual accountability with property, with with voting. And then Jon Stewart, you know, everybody's talking about how much, you know, President Trump overvalued his properties. Some data came up that Jon Stewart is apparently a big fan of Trump's, philosophy. And he also increased his home value, labeling it, overvalued by 829%. Jon, what a capitalist.
What a capitalist.
What a capitalist the great Jon Stewart is.
Everybody does it. We all get weird.
Tish. 29, Tish.
Yeah.
We'll find out. And then, by the way, did you guys hear about the warnings from FBI? Did you see the warning about this weekend?
Right?
This is serious. Warnings from FBI saying Hamas is planning on attacking different, like in a 9/11 type of attack this weekend. Literally, I'll show you the video that's being shown, and they're targeting Jewish. I think it's. Anyways, they're targeting Christian churches. You'll see what it is. The update will be given. I have the video. I'll share that with you guys.
Easter weekend, a lot of people will be in churches.
Yes, I have some stuff on that, and then. I'll show you one clip on who Nickelodeon is thinking about their new CEO. I think it's very important for you guys to see who's going to be Nickelodeon's first CEO.
Great.
And then Alex Jones had Shmuley on. I don't know if you saw this. Alex Jones had Rabbi Shmuley on, and they were going back and forth. It's a little awkward. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but he's a rabbi, so we have to watch it to see what.
He's holiness.
Very, very important what's going on with that. So, anyways, and we got a few other stories. Having said that, Alina, what is the latest with President Trump's case? Obviously, everybody for the longest time was saying Monday, it's going to happen Monday. 454 for you. He's going to have to pay if he doesn't seize his assets. You know, The View, I can't wait. I want to see that, seizing his assets and the property. I want to see all of that stuff. What is the latest? What's been happening?
So we're winning. And I've always tell people, this is the long game. Okay. We are in a corrupt system. There's no question about it. So people love to say, look, we're going to go over there and Tish James is going to take the keys to Trump Tower. I think Whoopi Goldberg and all of them got excited about putting a chain around Trump Tower and literally were taunting. It was a really pathetic sight, actually. And it didn't happen. Why? Because the appellate division read our papers, saw that there are reasons for a stay, saw that it absolutely is ridiculous to have somebody lose an asset while the appellate division hasn't had an opportunity to look at the injustices, look at the decision-making that was so flawed. And frankly, the motivation on this case was flawed. She was motivated to bring this case before she was even in office. That's what she ran on, Miss James. So that in itself, selective prosecution, happens to be illegal. It shouldn't happen. Look, they stayed it, they dropped it, they said, we're not taking assets, everything is frozen. Not only, and this is the one thing that nobody talks about, they didn't just say you're not paying that amount of money, which, by the way, is almost close to $1 billion with a bond because you have to pay 10% more, plus you have to pay interest. The judges said, no, we're stopping everything. You're not enforcing this. You're going to put $175 million, which is still crazy, in a bank. But we're also not enforcing any decision against the defendants not to be able to work in New York in real estate. We're also not enforcing the decisions against Alan Weisselberg, Jeff McConnell, people that did nothing wrong, that were working for a company and did their job and truly did nothing wrong. Nobody did. And every single part of that decision from Judge Engoron, that twisted decision.
Weird looking guy.
Every single thing was put on hold. Everything. While we have the opportunity now to say, this is what I was screaming about outside the courtroom steps every day, you know? So we're on hold and I mean, we're on hold for an expensive price, but at least we're seeing a little bit of, you know, due process and sense.
And how did he come up with the $175 million?
I don't know. I have no idea. You know, it wasn't in there. There wasn't any qualification.
Alina, are they starting to figure out that this tactic that they're using is not, it's like, it's done. It's not going to work.
We could call the DNC and ask them. I'm not sure. You know, I don't understand how they couldn't see that their overreaching has really hurt them, because Donald Trump has always been famous. He has always been a very smart businessman, which is why I think he's a very good president. He attacks things from a business perspective, which I think some presidents and some politicians, frankly, do lack that experience, right? And because of that, they've attacked him so badly that now you've taken a billionaire and made him sympathetic because you're trying to hurt him. It's so obvious that now we've got people from the left, the middles, they're coming to our side and saying, whoa, this is just too much. Yeah. You know, they're going to do this to me. Exactly. What am I going to do? I don't have Habba outside screaming. You know, what are you going to do? And that's been my message always is, you know, they're doing it to him, but they'll do it to us. They'll do it to me, I'm sure. They'll do it to everybody. And that's what scares me. So that's really, it's the motivation's really not just President Trump, it's America.
So let me ask you this. So this 175 we're talking about, okay, it has to be in an account. Fine. He puts that cash. No problem. If we size up the enemy of President Trump as being deceptive, dark, divisive, willing to do anything to eliminate him as a candidate going into 2024, November 5th. Anything they can do, right? To spin the story and say, look at him now, he's part of the establishment, he's going to New York begging people for money, Wall Street, all this stuff. If that was the case, he's still got a few more cases open. Is it possible that they may come up and say, yeah, for this one you have to pay $280 million. This one's going to be $73 million. Another $128 million. Another $190. Can they keep doing this between now and October to just really deplete all of his savings?
So, look, the reality is he's an incredibly wealthy man. His wealth, like all wealthy individuals that have intelligence, is being put to work. It's in buildings, it's in real estate, it's in hotels, it's in golf. They're not, you know, whatever they're going to try and do, they forget who they're dealing with, number one. But realistically, Patrick, what we do have in front of us is really not the civil suits. The civil suits were already done. And what you're asking, I believe, already happened. We had the Carroll lawsuit. He got hit with an insane, and that was a suit that I obviously did. We had already lost prior, and we have not been heard on appeal on that first loss.
This is the $83.3 million.
$83.3 million.
Right.
That was the first one,
right?
Which actually turns out to be $91 million when you look at it with the bond, okay, with the 10%. You have to put 10% on top. People think you put 10% into the court.
Decrease.
You put the entire amount plus 10% into the appellate division. So it's a number that the court gives plus 10%, plus the interest on the bond, plus whatever they get in fees. It's plus. So we already got that hit. I did that trial 2 weeks after Letitia James' trial ended. I was on that trial for 4 months. The Judge Engoron waited to put his decision until after the jury came out with Carol. So we had that happen. It was $91 million. And then Tish James, her original complaint, if you look, was $250 million. In the middle of the trial, towards the end, she changes it and says, now I want more. Not because the facts were bad. Frankly, the facts were good. Deutsche Bank came, took the stand, said he was a whale of the client. We actually wanted him because we wanted his connections. Zurich still insures us. All these things. The judge didn't care. Tish asked for more. He gave exactly what she wanted. There was no consideration for witnesses or facts or law. It's all crazy and corrupt.
How did he come up with these
So it
numbers?
was 91, then 375. They're out of thin air. Their own expert said, even if we looked at what this judge is saying is an overvalue. Okay. He's also saying Mar-a-Lago's 18 million.
Yeah.
Okay. So sure, if you think Mar-a-Lago's worth 18 million, well, there's about over $1 billion of over. It's ridiculous. There is no way. If Mar-a-Lago's 18 million, we should all buy it tomorrow and flip it. And we'll all be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, it's crazy. But if you look at it that way, that was already planned, Patrick. That's what they did. They did 91. Then they did 375. 375 becomes more like 600 million. So they were trying to take it. By the way, remember, Tish asked for his statements, asked for financials. She changed the number based on what cash he had. There's 0% question in my mind. That's what happened.
So Alina, if you ask that, like the average person that doesn't know about law, doesn't know about all this, and they're looking at it from the outside looking in, even left or right, and they're saying to themselves, how the hell are they getting away with this and nobody's saying anything? In the legal world, in government, in Congress, somebody should be like, all right, guys, time out. Besides, I don't care who the person is. What are you guys doing? This is blatantly obvious that it's a tactic to try to keep them off the ballot. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but I think that we have a problem with accountability with the Democrat side, and I'm not sure we figured out how to tackle them. We have to. I think President Trump would make everything even Steven when he gets back into office. I think that what we have to deal with is exactly that. We keep talking about it. I could go on TV every day and talk about how we have White House logs that came out while I was on trial. I'm sitting in the back room and I find out that there were White House logs that Tish James visited the White House.
Yeah.
Before and after the complaint was filed. What? How was that not on the news? If I didn't have such a loud mouth, people wouldn't hear the truth. So I'm looking at it and I'm going, what? How is this possible? And it didn't get covered. I mean,
is that public info? If I right now wanted to find that she's visited the White House, that's public. I could see it.
Yeah. It's crazy. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying, how do we hold them accountable? Well, these are elected officials. We had people there. We have gag orders being put on us. How is that okay?
Yeah.
Gag orders on lawyers.
Yeah.
Imagine I go to court, I'm your lawyer. And the judge says, Habba, no, you can't talk about a couple things here.
What?
How about the Carol case? The judge asked me the questions I was going to ask my client in public in front of the media before he took the stand, and then asked me what his answers would be. I was like, excuse me? Nobody talks about it. Transcript. Ask for the transcript. It's there. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is judicial activism at its worst. Judicial activism is where the judge is sort of acting as a lobbyist on behalf of a political side. And in civil cases, it can run amok as long as you get a dirty judge. At least at the federal level, you have federal sentencing guidelines, right? Which was that a sentence will be this much, might be this much, and can be extended to this much on the circumstances
statutory.
Basically the AGs for states or whatever that are participating and remand things like to the Southern District of New York for business, and it looks terrible. And they say, okay, well, then your guidelines here, but you're going to get this. But for civil, Vinny, it can run amok. All you need is a bad, dirty judge. He puts a gag order here. He impugns a witness here. He prevents us here. He suppresses us here. And you're literally a puppet. And you feel like you're in the middle of Congress during a debate for a bill rather than in the halls of justice with rules and regulations. We are supposed to have, the executive, the judicial, judicial, and then legislative. Legislative is where we run amok until we figure it out. Judicial, we're supposed to have procedures and laws and standards and things that go in there. This didn't happen. They basically decided that the civil case, they were going to run it like a political campaign. And for everybody listening, that's what you should think about here. That the Trump cases were run like a political campaign by a filthy, corrupt judicial.
Yeah, they are politically motivated. And there were things that were done that I know were meant to make me look stupid. And, you know, judges admonishing me, telling me to sit down in front of a jury, the way they spoke. There was nothing I was doing procedurally or in evidence rules that was wrong. Now, the press covered it that way because the judge made them think and would say things like, you should read the evidence rules. And I'm looking and I'm saying, well, I'm trying to be an ethical lawyer here and respectful. But I can't, you can't really talk back to a judge, right? Especially when a judge is telling you they're going to throw you in jail, which happened on the Carroll case. Imagine in a civil case, because I objected to a PowerPoint slide that I wanted in, and he said is not coming in. The PowerPoint slide literally proved everything I had said in the case. It said that, look, if somebody tweets something and President Trump doesn't acknowledge it for 5 hours, but they're getting hate from trolls, how can you blame President Trump for defamation? That slide was taken out. I was not allowed to bring it in. And the jury couldn't see it. But the judge, the way they do it, he did it in front of the press. He didn't do it in chambers. He does it so that people start to have this narrative. Oh, she's not a good lawyer. Oh, she's not bright. Oh, she's not this and that. Is that me?
The judge said he's going to throw you in jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, the weird guy. But, so question, did you guys file any motions against Letitia James for all the videos and all the rhetoric of, I'm going to go after Trump? How is that not a conflict of interest to get her taken off the case?
So her being on the case is different than Fani Willis.
Okay.
So Tish James actually doesn't do the cases.
Okay.
She's a figurehead effectively, right? So she's got a team that we dealt with for 3 years, and that team tried the case. She would show up, she would sit in the back, she would have her coffee. She wasn't really trying the case. Now, she was giving the directives. She was given the directives, much like Merrick Garland or any of them, right?
Yeah.
But did we argue selective prosecution? 100 times. Did we argue that she prosecuted President Trump to get into office, said it before, that it was improper, that she was unethical, all those things? 100 times. Was it covered?
No. Just like her going to the White House to visit.
What I want to ask is how they come up with these numbers, and we'll get to that. Let's first go to our sponsor. Go ahead, Rob, and play this clip. So look, I've been in the financial industry since 9/11, the day before 9/11, and I've owned stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, crypto, gold, you name it, I've owned it. But the one thing that's very important part of my portfolio all these years is gold. I love having a percentage of my net worth in gold that I have access to in case of many different things. That's why we chose to work with our new sponsor, American Hartford Gold. If you have retirement funds that you cannot afford to lose, American Hartford Gold will ship physical gold or silver directly to your door. Also, if you have retirement funds that you can't afford to lose, now is the time to call American Hartford Gold, a precious metal dealer you can trust. They have the finest products, amazing customer service, and a buyback commitment. They've earned a 5-star rating from thousands of reviews and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Tell them I sent you, and they'll send you up to $5,000 worth of free silver on your first order. So click on the link in the description or call 866-939-6984. Again, 866-939-6984. So here's a question I got, Tom. So, you go to appraisal school, okay? You're going to get certified. How do you appraise a property? Here's how you do it. The math formula is this, based on this, divided by this, times this, compared in the last comps of the last 3 months, 6 months. The comps that are from the last 3 months have more credibility than comps from the last 12 months versus the last 2 years. And then if you take this formula, you come up with exactly around a 98% accuracy on what it should be. This property is worth $1.36 million. Great. Is there a formula, these judges that have this much power that they have to go through to...
No.
There is no formula.
There used to be, I'd love to hear your point on it. There used to be relative standards. Like you look at personal injury. Okay, how many days of work did you lose? What do you earn on your income? What was that? So what is the direct, calculable compensatory damages. But then this whole thing comes in there of pain and suffering. How do you measure that? You measure that on how far John Edwards can push a jury. Remember that presidential candidate? That was his business. And then what you go through is almost like the punitive side, where I award the victim basically a fine against the company that made the defective product. And that can go to the moon based on the heart of juries and judges, and they do whatever they want. It's all in the courtroom skill, and this company deserves to pay goes beyond how many days did you miss work and what is some sort of implied pain and suffering that we can get our arms around.
Yeah, that's 100% what happened. So, and don't forget, people say, well, there was a jury. Well, yeah, but the jury, like I said, is under the directive of the judge. And the jury, before they deliberate, gets jury instructions that the judge determines what goes in, what goes out. So we can argue about it, but the judge has the final say. So the judge is directing traffic. So people have to remember that. Engoron didn't have a jury. He didn't have a jury, not because I forgot to check a box. He didn't have a jury because he decided there was not going to be a jury. He decided it was an equitable 63-12, and I'm getting too much in the weeds probably for the non-lawyers, but they used a consumer fraud statute, okay? Consumer fraud is when a Verizon, an AT&T, is surcharging everybody on their bills 2 cents more than they should have. Consumer fraud, Letitia James steps in. This is what she's supposed to do as the AG, and protects the state of New York constituents, takes care of it, sues AT&T, and says, hey, we don't like this. It's like what's going on with Apple right now, okay? The DOJ is going after Apple, saying you can't have a monopoly. So those are consumer fraud statutes. She used a consumer fraud statute against a private company and a private individual because after 3 years, she didn't have anything. So instead she said, okay, I can't find an actual fraud. So after 3 years of investigation, I'm going to have to use a consumer fraud statute. By doing that, the judge didn't have to give us a jury. Okay. And their own experts didn't come up with numbers like 375. Their own experts, the baddest people they could find, couldn't get to that number. And the judge gave Letitia James everything and more than she asked. That's what happened. It was so mind-boggling. But of course, Mar-a-Lago's 18 million, of course.
Right. In a small way, what if you have a 100-mile-an-hour speeding ticket? Okay. The law says you're going to lose your license for 6 months. But what is the fine and court cost? If you are an 18-year-old arrogant kid rolling your eyes and looking at the judge, that could go from $1,000 to $2,500 just like this because the judge feels that you are sufficiently,
feeling the pain.
Penitent in front of the judge and respectful of the proceeding, so the judge can do that. You know what? I'm going to charge you $1,000 court costs. The last woman there on something could have been $30, but the judge has latitude. But remember, there's no jury in a speeding case. She effectively turned it in to a consumer fraud case where it's one judge acting as arbiter, not a full process with the jury. Am I summarizing that?
100%. And by the way, if it was a commercial consumer fraud statute, it should have been in the commercial division.
Correct.
We asked that it be moved as it normally would. We went to the head judge. We said, it should not stay with this guy. He doesn't understand 6312. This is not his purview. He's a local state guy. He shouldn't be. He's not the commercial division. He's civil division. So they now use the 63
court of appropriate jurisdiction.
So now we got 6312 in front of a judge that doesn't typically do it because they wanted to keep him on because he was so good to them for 3 years, and it all was coordinated. So now we're in front of a judge trying to explain to him something that frankly is not in his wheelhouse. And you could tell by the comments. I mean, this guy got overturned. If you look at his history, for one of the worst landlord-tenant decisions in New York, he got reversed. And he touted during the trial often, I haven't been reversed by you guys yet. Well, now you've been reversed 5 times. 5 times. So my point to everybody is, listen, I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm telling you it's a long game. But the appellate division has shown us some sensibility. And they've shown us that they're going to give us an opportunity to be heard. And that's all I ask for. Because once you hear it, once you see it, once you look at the witnesses, the testimony, this case will not stand. It will not stand. And going to punitives, the Carroll case, that Bergdorf case, you know how much of it was punitives? 83 million. You know how much of it was punitives? approximately 60 something of it punitive. Don't do it again.
Wow.
Pat, this would be like, Pat, let's say that you're concerned for a cousin, and you go into family court because you want to be there to represent the person,
Sure.
and maybe something
Sure.
there. And they say, hey, you know what? The family court judge is out sick today, but Judge Harris from traffic court is going to come in and hear this.
Exactly.
And it's like, and you would lose your mind and saying, no. I want a proper family court judge because I want to take custody of my little cousin and I want to make sure that they're safe. No. The traffic court judge is fine. He's a judge. That's what they did in New York.
Mm-hmm. And I hate the narrative that we didn't file motions, we didn't check a box, we didn't do this, we didn't do that. We did everything. We were in the appellate division every week, asking for reversals, fighting. They won't cover it. They don't look at the motions. They don't want that. They want the narrative. The lawyers are dumb. This is bad. He's a fraud. It's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This is made up. We're in make-believe land right now.
But the reality of it is the law in New York allows for this to happen, right? I mean, is that accurate
This
or no?
should have been in the commercial division. If you look at the law, this 6312 is supposed to go to the commercial division.
Supposed
The commercial
was one
division
thing.
judge, who, by the way, are very intelligent judges. I have a case with President Trump in front of a great judge. He's not a right judge, but he's fair.
But if you're saying supposed to,
Yeah.
then how did this happen?
They make arguments and you have, look, we have so many levels that we have to go through and we still have to make those arguments. One of the arguments we're going to make is this shouldn't have even been in front of this judge. We've made that argument before. Certain things are timely and I don't want to bore people, but you have to wait until the verdict sometimes to go fight certain things. And now that we have it, we're fighting the case. We take the entire transcript, we take the 11 weeks and we say, okay, guys, now it's done. Now we can see there's been an injustice. Here's the order. Here's the decision. Now we're going to revisit from the beginning what happened. Years and years of investigation. I've been on this case, not for 6 months, not for a year. I've been on this case for almost 3 years. I mean, this case, I've been in investigation phase. I was dealing with them. You know, they have depositions. They're called special proceedings. They go in, they'll have an EOU, it's called, and you basically get to ask witnesses questions, Letitia James's team, but they cannot have lawyers interject. You can sit there. I can sit there as a lawyer. They can effectively depose President Trump, but I have no right to object. I have no right to see any of the documents beforehand. Nothing. So that has been happening for years.
What else is pending? What other things are pending? Anything else that they can come after money?
Well, obviously there's the criminal case that I'm worried about, but that's when I say worried, I mean, I'm worried about corruption. I'm not worried about whether President Trump did anything. He did nothing wrong there either. He was actually president. That's a Michael Cohen, special, that one. But no, I mean, it's all the Jack Smiths, so no, not really money. Although I say that and you never know, people can come out of the woodworks. But in a normal world, Patrick, no, we're done. There's nothing that has a trial coming up in the civil world is what you're asking me, civil arena, that would in any way be a threat to President Trump. And even if it did, there is an appellate level and we do have a right to do that. So, we did win on those decisions. Did we win? Do I think he should have paid anything? No. But did we have a strong day? Yeah, we did. The appellate division came in and was like, whoa, you're not seizing assets, Tish. Calm down with your Twitter roll. Calm down with your interest. The taunting to put on Twitter, you owe me this. Now you owe me that. Now you owe me that. That is her campaign. That's her campaign.
How much of it is personal at this point between her and the Trump campaign and Trump and you? Like, is it a personal attack?
This is what she campaigned on.
Right.
It's all personal.
She did. It's personal. It's driven by her backers. A lot of these cases, we've seen Reid Hoffman is a major backer for the litigation. The Carroll case, he backed that. I wasn't allowed to talk about that in front of the jury, but he did. I wasn't allowed on that case to play the clip. We should play that clip. Anderson Cooper, E. Jean Carroll on Anderson Cooper saying, rape is sexy. I couldn't tell the jury. The judge wouldn't let me bring that into evidence.
See, and that's where I say, political campaigns. I get donors, you get donors, we go after it and let the voters decide. There were donors supporting a court case. This became a political campaign. Now, the beauty of the U.S. judicial system, for all of its warts and flaws, is the strength of our appellate system. And the strength of our appellate system, even if you get a corrupt circuit, like the Ninth Circuit, which is Northern California, the most overturned circuit, which even the best lawyers refer to as the Ninth Circus, has been overturned over and over by the Supreme Court. And what we saw, Colorado, a bad state Supreme Court decision goes that this is the voting suppression that they did, goes to the U.S. Supremes, and the U.S. Supremes go, no, 9-0, even the liberal judges. So the strength of our judicial system is our appellate system and our Supreme Court. However, that's not what they want. They want the headlines of the first case, and that's what they did here.
I'm not going to ask her because she's in the space. For you, history, what you've seen. What part of the 450 you think he's going to end up paying in the next 2 years? Once everything is done?
My
guesstimation.
My intellectual hope is that it goes to zero on successful appeals that expose the flaws and not just flaws. You can be flaws in a case, but the errors and the absolute bias that were introduced because all of the judge's actions are appealable. The judge, like a motion, you can go back. And so my hope is that at some point in time, that the appeal system will work and we will come back to some level of sanity. Is it zero? I don't know, but it certainly shouldn't be these numbers.
Alina, what do you think? Like, by the time it's done, is this one of those things where it starts off and the number is so big and everybody who's not in the space like, oh my God, ends up being only $22 million?
Yeah, this is one of those cases.
Okay, got it.
It was that absurd, actually. And I'm being recorded saying it. It was that absurd. I cannot imagine a judge who actually cares about their reputation, cares about their dignity, not seeing that for what it is. I really can't. I think that the decision indicates that.
You know how I see this? You know how I see this, Tom? Here's how I see this. I see this as, let's just say I'm in and I'm connected with Rob Manfred, okay? And the Dodgers are coming up and I'm on the Yankees side, okay? And Ohtani is going through serving a suspension for his gambling thing that he just got caught on, where the story's getting worse and worse and worse, okay? And pick anybody on the, National League. Pick a team that's going to be Dodgers competitors. Who are you going to put up? Pick one of them.
Giants.
Okay, the Giants. And I say, hey, Rob, here's what I want you to do. I want you to delay Ohtani's beginning of his suspension so it goes through playoffs so he won't be in the playoffs. Versus, let's have the suspension be in the regular season so he comes back from suspension within 17 games left. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I totally understand what you're saying.
So meaning, if they know nothing's going to happen with this, but it plays the purpose of tying up the money, you can't have that money being tied up. Because if the money's tied up, the way to raise money changes. The way to go raise money changes where it's like, well, again, opposing strategist, deceptive, dark, manipulative. You have to come out and say, he's broke. He may have all these properties, but he has no cash. There's a difference between being paper rich and being cash rich. The man has no money. He's going around begging everybody for money. Just the other day, he had a meeting with Elon Musk. Start new rumors. He asked for $300 million. He asked to buy Truth Social. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's a very effective tactic from the other side to use. And then right after election is over with, it's like, you know what? Nah, those things didn't happen. We've got to move on.
Okay. I'll give you another story. Look at the case that's going to trial in a couple weeks, the Alvin Bragg case. That case was, again, investigated for years. Mark Pomerantz quit working. He was brought in from a law firm that is Biden-backed, has connections to Biden, has connections to the Clintons. It's the same firm, okay? They take him out, pluck him, put him in the DA's office of New York. That's like someone plucking me, putting me in a Trump DA and being like, go after Hunter. That's the equivalent. Put him in, and then they look at everything and they go, we're not bringing this case. He says, I'm running for office. he gets indicted. People don't realize that. That's what happened with the Stormy Daniels case. It's politics. It's politics in law. You're not supposed to have legal lawfare. It's supposed to be the law. You know, you have church, you have state, it's supposed to be a division, and there's not now. And if you doubt me, look at the White House logs. Look at what I'm telling you. There is a book. Mark Pomerantz was so angry at the DA's office for not bringing charges against Trump that he wrote a book. Furious because his Trump derangement syndrome was so severe. He was furious.
And this is what we're talking about, by the way.
This kills me. This kills me.
This makes
I could not bring this in front of the jury.
Brother,
He would not let me bring
just
it.
look at her hair before it even plays. That's a crazy person hair.
By the
She's
way,
crazy.
Even Anderson Cooper couldn't believe what she just said.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob.
You don't feel like a victim.
I was not thrown on the ground and ravished, which the word rape carries so many sexual connotations. This was not sexual. It hurt. It just you know.
Well, I think most people think of rape as it is a violent assault. It is not.
I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
What?
No,
Let's
watch him cut.
Think of the fantasies.
We're just going to take a quick break.
Quick break.
I don't want to be at work today.
That's my favorite part. Rob. Go
By
on,
the
go.
way, that was my entire defense.
And they wouldn't let you play it.
I was not allowed to play it.
By the way, this is my favorite part.
Oh,
Look what she says to him. Go ahead, Rob. Watch
Going to
it.
take a quick break.
Watch it. Watch what she
We'll
says.
talk more on the other side.
Fascinating.
You're fascinating to talk to.
She said that to me.
Jesus.
She said that to me. She said she liked talking to me.
She's psychotic.
Alina, how much of the 83 million is she going to see?
Zero. And then I'm going to sue for attorney's fees.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Oh, yeah.
So she can't go shopping?
No.
You mean she can't take
She
Rachel
can't
out shopping?
She can't buy her France. Oh, I watched that.
How
I said, Reid Hoffman, I hope you're watching. DNC, I hope you're watching. This is the person. This is the person you picked.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk about her cat's name. I couldn't talk about that. Yeah, this.
Oh, look at these people, bro.
You've talked about using some of Trump's money that you're about to get to help shore up women's rights. Do you know what that might be, what that might look like?
Yes, Rachel.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Tell me.
I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money.
Psycho.
First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes.
That's really good.
Motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want?
Yeah, the lawyers are panicking, by the way. Watch.
Yours, Rachel.
Oh, my God.
No, and then if you find the video of her house, there's a video of her. She's got red hair.
90 cats?
That was
How many
another
cats?
one. No, but the cat's name.
Oh, you couldn't say the cat. What's the cat's name?
Is this the? Of course, you know the cat's.
Mouse
Welcome
House.
to the Oh, my God.
That's not her.
That's her.
I call it the Mouse House because some very distinguished mice live here. Kahneman lives in the kitchen. Taberski lives in the bedroom. This is my shed.
Oh, my
And
God.
on that
This is a
side,
joke.
No, I tried to get
the
this in. They
books
wouldn't let me.
Dude, that wasn't True
that
Detective.
most
That's where the
influenced me
serial
growing
killer
up.
lived.
On the door are the list of my dogs.
Is this a joke?
Marky,
No.
Dude.
This is this
Fortuna
the
de
same
la
lady?
Spunky,
Yeah.
This is her.
Heidi, Tits, Bloody,
Tits?
and Hepburn. The streams and the rivers were dry, and it so horrified me that I came out and started painting the rocks blue to indicate that there was once a river here. And then after I got done painting the rocks, I just sort of walked over here and then did that tree and then did that tree and then I did this tree. And then pretty soon I'd done this whole forest.
Although she's voting Democrat 100, like that's the Democrat voter base is that
By the way,
person right
Patrick,
there.
let me flip this. And Alina, I'd love you on this. Let's say,
Jeez.
can we do a quick case study?
Yeah.
Okay, you are a criminal defense attorney.
Oh.
Alina takes a gun and is shooting randomly and wounds, not kills, one of her neighbors. The DA wants to put her away for attempted murder. How would you defend her? You would use every clip and say, my poor client is not mentally capable of standing trial.
There's so many of those clips that would say I'm not mentally capable.
No. As her attorney, what would you do with all this?
Well,
I mean, literally.
That's what I tried to do. I was not allowed. Imagine if you're a jury and you just see those two videos. Are you awarding anybody $83 million?
No.
Okay. I wasn't allowed. So then you got these people on CNN and MSDNC going, Habba's a terrible lawyer. I couldn't bring it in because the judge wouldn't let me. So yeah, I had a jury, but the judge, before the jury came in, said, Habba, you're not bringing that. You're not saying that she has a, a dog named Vagina?
Yeah.
Cat named Vagina?
T Fireball. Let's get it right.
Vagina T Fireball.
Is the cat's name.
Is the cat's name. I could.
That sounds
but
like
no,
trouble.
but if you're saying somebody defamed you, if you're saying somebody hurt you, the most terrible, horrific crime, and my case was just defamation. So you're telling me that I can't litigate through the appellate division the first case.
That is crazy.
Now I have to go on trial for the second case, even though the first case hasn't been determined by the appellate division, hasn't been overseen, right? So now I got to go on a trial with this verdict that's insane already. And then I got to go in and the judge says, oh, no, he defamed her. And that's why people think she's crazy because of what President Trump said. And I can't play those videos of her saying rape. Some people would say rape is sexy, whatever she said, on Anderson Cooper, and showing Anderson Cooper cutting immediately, probably talking to her during
completely
the break.
flummoxed.
He sounded like the lawyer from My Cousin Vinny. He turned into that guy.
No, and the point I'm trying to make for people listening is that if you had a conservative district attorney...
we have to take a break. We have to take a quick break because our sponsors wanted us to give a quick shout out to Vagina T
Vagina T Fireball. Sorry, Tom.
Okay.
There you go.
Brought to you by Petco.
VTF.
No, it's called PETA. Save this cat. Get her away
He looks
from
like he's
Jean
sorry.
Carroll. She's begging.
He's under duress. Look at his face.
I thought PETA was people eat tasty animals. Anyway, I'm confused. The point I was making was if you had, say, a conservative local district attorney that said, hey, you've shot someone, you wounded them, that's attempted murder, the liberals would come back the other way and say, oh, no, you should let her walk. She was just misunderstood, or she's mentally not quite all there. And they would use every bit of this to let the perp walk.
You know the saddest thing about this whole thing is this is all the stuff that they're doing, obviously on purpose. Obviously, it's called cheating, not election interference. These are all the talking points that whoever's going to run against Trump is going to use. Even though it's all BS, they're going to be like January 6th insurrection, all the felonies, the bloodbath. You know the bloodbath thing is going to come back, even though we all know it was all BS. And then rape and all this. These are all talking points that whoever's going to debate is going to use.
He was not found guilty.
That's what I'm saying. Insurrection for none of them.
You know, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. But more crazy to me, more than any of the PR, any of the TV stuff, any of the politics, more crazy for me, this shouldn't be happening in courts.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
This is court. We're not talking about TV land. This is in court. I couldn't play that.
So long story short, there's nothing else crazy that's going on that they can come after him for money, except for criminal cases that we have.
Right.
Number two, he's going to put up the $175 million. Has to be in an account like the entire 175 or 10% of the 175.
10% on top of the one. So it's 175. So 17.5.
So 192, whatever, 195 exactly.
Like an escrow.
In a bond.
Wow.
They bond it. So
the whole 196.
The whole amount.
So, okay. That's a lot of cash, guys.
Yeah. And by the way, so just so you guys understand, when they asked for the 500, let's call it, but it really was more like 6-7 with the 10% on top, plus the interest, plus whatever. We went to Chubb, the best, brightest insurance carrier. You know, they're great. And we say, hey, we need this. They don't do it. There's only 7. The United States Treasury has strict regulations on who can give that large of a bond. Okay. There are only, I think, 7 or so bond companies that are actually qualified to do it. So it's not like, oh, you can just go to the open market and say, who's going to help Trump? It's not about that. You can't just put you have to get a bond. You have to put it up. And they only take cash or cash equivalents. So you can't have an asset and put a lien on Mar-a-Lago. They won't allow that. So people don't realize, and this whole narrative, Trump's broke, Trump's begging for money. No, not even close. If you look at the regulations in our country, the Treasury regulations, it takes the entire globe of bond people, it cuts it down to 7, then it cuts it even smaller and says, okay, now you have your 7, but by the way, you actually have to have cash or a cash equivalent. You have to have stocks. You have to have cash. You have to tell me what smart billionaire has $1 billion sitting in cash in a bank.
Not
You're
one.
stupid. You wouldn't be a billionaire. You would not be a billionaire. And by the way, President Trump has so much cash, more cash than probably anybody I know. But you are telling me that that's a no. And then they say the whole narrative. I thought he was a billionaire.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just garbage.
But they're gonna. And by the way, the whole Truth Social, Tom, where's the stock at today?
He's killing it. He's killing it. Truth Social, killing
It's
it.
66. Everybody said it was going to pop and drop. Nope, it's staying stable, and it's staying around 7 billion. And his take is staying right around, not take, his ownership of a company he has built once again.
Good.
Trump, the entrepreneur, built another company.
Yep.
62 to 66 has been the trading range. 63 right now. Look at the market.
No, that's not right, Rob. What company are you on? That's not it, Rob.
No. That's Trent.
You got to go to DJT.
No. Yeah. No, he went to DJ. It's not 36 billion.
Go DJ.
Well, there's Dow Jones Transportations. You went the DJT stock.
DJT
there you go.
There we go.
Yo, 66. That's what I said. Yep. And today we're at a market cap of $9.47 billion. 60% of that is sitting on $4 billion.
Good for him.
Anything he
can't
touches
touch for 6 months.
Anything he touches turns to gold. I swear.
Well,
he really is incredibly bright. That's why they can't stand him.
They hate
because
him.
he's bright, he's smart, and if you try and censor him on Twitter, he'll just create another company and kill it.
And by the way, I don't think people give him enough credit for what a great DJ he is.
There you go.
Oh my God.
DJT is the best.
He is amazing.
Best music.
He needs to put that on his resume and go up against like David Solomon and say who's a better DJ, and he needs to be DJing. But okay, can we move away from the story, or did you have a question? You had one question you wanted to ask, or you're good?
Oh, go for it.
Okay, all right, so let's move on from this story. In other words, at the end of the day, not a lot is going to happen, but it's just a circus. It's a great show that they're doing. And
it's great.
We'll see how the market's going to react to it. Let's go to a different case. Rob, Jon Stewart, okay? Jon Stewart's story comes out. I think it's a New York Post story, page 11 if you guys want to go to it. Okay, so Jon Stewart found to have overvalued his New York City home, Alina, by 829%.
What?
After labeling Trump's civil case not victimless, Jon Stewart criticized Trump's civil case over inflated property values, stating this has never been prosecuted. In response to experts framing the case as non-harmful, it was revealed that Stewart's Tribeca duplex sold for $17.5 million in 2014, a staggering 829% more than assessed value at $1.882 million. Internet sleuths uncovered Stewart's property history, leading to accusations of hypocrisy. Stewart's penthouse sale price after far exceeded its assessed value, raising questions about his own benefit from overvaluation, with political commentator Tim Pool alleging, did Jon Stewart commit fraud when he sold his penthouse for $17.5 million? If that's the case, Rob, is this the clip, or what is this here?
This is a clip of Jon Stewart talking about the civil fraud case and how it's not a victimless crime.
Go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
Because they are not victimless crimes. First, the banks got paid back at lower interest rates, although, to be honest, who gives a shit? But second, money isn't infinite. A loan that goes to the liar doesn't go to someone who's giving a more honest evaluation. So the system becomes incentivized for corruption. And this is part of a different Trump fraud case, but avoiding taxes hurts all of us. Donald Trump shenanigans cost the city of New York. And to be honest, and let's be frank here, that is money that the city of New York could have used to build more Walgreens. Now,
so that's not funny. You can pause right there.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
how
God.
different is this case versus what they're accusing Trump of doing?
I don't even know where to start with this.
You almost turned into Anderson Cooper right
I
there.
almost. I'm so angry by watching that. I actually hadn't seen that. I heard the story. It's no different, but the reality is that Trump actually didn't. If anything, his properties were undervalued. He put Doral at a couple, I don't even remember the numbers, but Doral's worth way more than it was on there. I mean, the statements were actually undervalued, and his statements were prepared by an accounting firm, not a small accounting firm, a major accounting firm, who put a cover sheet saying, do your own due diligence, folks, but this is what we estimate we're worth. Just like anybody in New York. It's like, okay, let's even say in some made up land, the numbers were high, which they weren't. Let's say that, okay? Then you got a sheet that says right on the front, excuse me, do your own due diligence. On top of that, who's President Trump going to? Deutsche Bank. He's right. You know what, Jon Stewart, the only thing that was right, you're right. He went to Deutsche Bank. He didn't go to a mom and pop. He went to one of the highest regulated banks to get loans that he actually didn't need. It was solely because of, mortgage. It's what you do. It's how you make money. It's better to have a mortgage sometimes when you don't need it. And they got paid off early. They made money. Okay. And who is the victim? Now, in his case, I want to see what they do with it. Is he going to be investigated for 3 years? Where are you, Tish?
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Yeah.
You're going to go after your own? No one is above the law.
Yeah.
Show me.
Yep. Exactly.
Show me.
And by the way, we can help her if Letitia James is watching.
That clip should be used in her case against him. By the way, let me
100%.
help you, Letitia.
Yeah.
You should play that video. I'm sure you'll be allowed to play videos. I'm not, but you will. Let's see it happen.
Yeah.
Let's see. No one is above the law. I can't, when I hear that, the hypocrisy in that statement, show me. 829% overvalue of his New York City home. And that's a personal profit. Why don't they use the same consumer statute against him like they used against Trump?
Is Jon Stewart actually going to court for this?
No.
Not yet, but I'm happy to assist.
Gotcha.
No, not yet.
No, this is just showing. Assessed was 1.88 or whatever the number, and it sold for 17 or 18 and a half. I think that
They're saying
he got.
Look.
We're highlighting the hypocrisy.
It's all hypocrisy. It's hypocrisy.
It is, and again, let's
double standard.
You nailed it. And let's talk about Jon Stewart for a second. He's a shill for the left. Still, Trump derangement syndrome at the highest. He had to come out of retirement just to talk shit about Trump for this year, for election year, because nobody was watching The Daily Show.
Wait.
Nobody. Let's be honest.
Nobody watches it.
Period. And that victim that you're talking about, I mean, don't get me wrong.
I hadn't even
talented,
seen it.
I don't watch none of that crap. But that victim, remember the victimless? The victim, Jon Stewart's victim?
Whoever paid that.
Yeah, lost $4 million on that deal. Yeah. And you nailed it. Letitia James will help you. He shoots out of New York. The address, he's on New York 11th Ave and 52nd
What is
Street.
that? That's the what? That's
where Jon Stewart's Daily Show, they shoot there.
Oh, okay.
Go get him. Go get him. So at least I want the people to understand, guys.
That's taxpayer dollars.
That's
okay,
them.
you want to talk taxpayer dollars? Let's talk taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
The Trump organization, Donald Trump, creates thousands of jobs.
Yep.
Thousands of jobs. They pay hundreds and hundreds of millions in employment taxes to the state of New York. Do you know what you just did, Tish? You are running businesses. The Trump organization that makes the city money, more money than you will ever make in a judgment.
Yep.
That's year after year. You're pushing businesses out of the state of New York. The Jon Stewarts of the world, the talking heads, the silliness for politics. You are hurting the state of New York because people are watching and who here has not heard from somebody in New York? I'm getting the hell out.
The majority of the people that I've talked about, except for the ones that are in their little bubble that, like Robert De Niro, who when they asked him, like, hey, what's up with this crime? The National Guard. He's like, yeah, I don't see it yet because you're guarded. You're guarded with people with guns. Yeah. So you don't see it. But again, and I've been saying this for a while, Alina, until it spreads and it starts hitting them, like with anything, with the open border, until one of their kids, God forbid, something happens with their kids or their family where an illegal does something to them, then their tune stays the same. But wait until it starts happening to them.
No, but even when that happens, they'll somehow blame Trump.
Oh, for
That's
sure.
what they do. They'll say, well, Trump didn't finish building the wall.
Yeah,
well, why didn't he finish building the wall?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to mess around with an election, bring in millions and millions and millions of people illegally so that let's give them all voting rights and let's give them 10 grand.
Oh, yeah.
Guess what? I just went overseas last week. I came in and I go, oh, wait a minute. I have to give my passport to customs? Why?
Yeah.
That's what I said. Yeah. I go, why? And are you going to give me a credit card for 10 grand? I'd like one.
Please.
And a phone.
And a phone. And I would like somebody to get kicked out of a hotel in New York so that I can stay for free.
Yeah, veterans.
Which, by the way, leads me to a great story.
Oh, boy.
Of this governor who's doing a phenomenal job in the great state of Florida. DeSantis eliminates squatter rights.
Yeah.
Okay. Gives power to cops to remove offenders because a couple squatters in New York, one guy, Venezuelan, illegal Venezuelan, I believe, is teaching people how to actually go squatting in New York. I don't know if you saw this step-by-step process on how to do it and how they're protected. And this is what DeSantis does. Governor DeSantis signed legislation into law eliminating squatter rights, stating, we are in the state of Florida ending the squatter scam once and for all. The new law, effective July 1st, criminalizes squatting and empowers property owners to swiftly remove squatters. addressing previous challenges where squatters were treated as tenants, requiring lengthy legal battles for eviction. DeSantis highlighted the severity of the issue by comparing Florida's approach to states like California and New York. Rob, do you have the video of him explaining this? Go ahead and play this clip.
Does your house belong to you? Or if you are not using it, can someone just come in, squat for a period of time, and then claim that they have a right to be there? This so-called squatter scam is something that's happening around the country. There's even videos telling people how to go in and take over an empty house. That was never how the law was supposed to work. And in Florida, we are going to take action today to end this scam and to protect the private property rights of our homeowners. You should not have anyone go on your property and take it over and then try to assert some rights. It's absurd. We're going to put an end to it today, and we'll be leading the way yet again in the process.
The one thing you got to give this guy credit.
Great
when it comes
governor.
down to policies and getting stuff done, like from that stuff, marketing, but the stuff, some of the stuff he does squatting. So you know what this makes you want to do? As a real estate, as an investor, like, okay, if I'm going to buy a house, if I'm going to buy properties, if I'm going to rent it out, if I'm going to do something, guess what? Come to Florida. Of course. You don't have to worry about it because you're in California. God forbid Moral, a relative director, they had a person living in one of their houses in Valencia. They're like, we can't get some of these people out. What do you mean you can't get the people out? Well, because the law, the way it works, you can't sell it. You have to wait for this. You have to wait for that. Literally, you have to go through that process. I'm glad the fact that he's doing this in Florida.
It's true. And I think there was a sheriff in Florida that actually said something in a press conference and said in the state of Florida, if somebody breaks into your home, you have the right to use a weapon and shoot.
Yep.
I love that. I'm a Second Amendment girl. So I'm all for that because in the world that we're living in, I hope you're armed and ready.
If I left my house and I came back, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call and have them bomb it, like for the termites and while they're in the house. And I have Rob, keep the one of the clips I sent you, if you don't mind, I have a feel-good story for everybody at home because I know we covered the story of that Venezuelan illegal migrant influencer that was on TikTok making those videos. Remember that guy for squatting?
Oh, the motivational speaker, amateur lawyer.
Guess what? He's now a fugitive after fleeing ICE custody, and he posted a snotty, sobbing clip over being threatened by very powerful people. His family's being in danger, and people looking for where he's staying, and his accounts being look at our friend, look at our boy, poor kid, but look at this idiot.
Yeah.
Oh no!
You can't play this, Rob.
No, play the music. No. But he has a booger in his nose. Like he's crying because now he can't squat. The baby situation, they're gonna take the baby away, and now he feels threatened for his life. So now all those videos that he made where he was like, everybody come here, take advantage. He's in places showing how to steal and not get caught. Well, good for you.
I know where he'd be nice and safe and comfortable.
California?
Caracas.
Oh, yeah, no shit. Get out of here, bro.
Yeah, this is the guy.
What did he do?
This is the guy. So
play it.
Feel free to use your gun.
Oh, let me see this.
We don't know which homeowner shot at him. I guess they think that they did something wrong, which they did not. If somebody's breaking in your house, you're more than welcome to shoot them in Santa Rosa County. We prefer that you do, actually. So whoever that was,
he's my hero.
Come see us.
He's my hero. I don't know who you are, but I would love to meet you.
Saturday, and if you take that, you'll shoot a lot better.
That's no. Back up 30 seconds. Pat, see the other part of it. If you take a gun safety class, listen.
Whoever that was, you're not in trouble. Come see us.
You're not in trouble.
We have a gun safety class we put on every other Saturday. And if you take that, you'll shoot a lot better, and hopefully you'll save taxpayers money.
And save taxpayers money.
So this is where? This is California?
This is
Florida.
Oh,
he's
Santa Rosa's in Florida.
Yeah, Santa Rosa County Sheriff Bob
I love
Johnson.
you,
Dude.
Sheriff Johnson.
Bro, because I'm telling you right now, if people see that video that want to squat, they're going to be like, nah, let's not do that.
Let's go to New York.
Let's go to New York.
Why squat over here?
Yeah.
Right? But what are squatter laws across the country, though? Like, what is the most... I'm on this Newsweek article from 2 days ago talking about different squatter laws, by state. In Arkansas, squatters can claim ownership of a property after 7 years of occupying it unless it...
It's like adverse possession, yeah. So you can sit. So it's the same thing, by the way. This is good for people to know. It's like one of those law school things that they teach you, and every state's different. But let's say that you have a fence on your house, and your house is actually 5 acres, but your fence in 3 acres of that 5 acres. And then your neighbor starts using the 2 acres that aren't fenced in. It's like it is adverse possession after a certain amount of time. The years depend on the state. So because you waived your right to effectively protect your space, they could say, hey, I've been using this 2 acres for the last 11 years. Effectively, it's mine.
Oh, wow.
And then you're in litigation and all kinds of stuff. So it's really funny. They could do that, but they could come after Trump and take us home in 6 months.
Oh, my God.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it literally says that it becomes, they must show proof of their presence of the property, including having made improvements to the property and paid property tax. The squatter must not be sharing the property with anyone else. California, squatters in Golden State can claim ownership of a property after living there continuously for 5 years as long as they can. So
there's a law in family law. There was, and it's pretty much debunked now, but there's, and I'm not a family law attorney, I'll say that. Could you imagine if I was?
That'd be hilarious.
But there is a case, it's the same thing. If you're in a relationship for a certain amount of time and you're living and acting like you're married, you're effectively married and can get, let's say you break up, it's like having no prenup and you lose half your stuff.
Isn't that in law school they teach you about the actor Lee Marvin and Michelle Triola?
Right.
I think that was the California.
And that's why the right thing to do is to create term limits in marriage. And then you campaign.
Got it.
There should be term limits. Okay, you go to the kids, you go to the in-laws. Hey, we're running for second term. I don't think it's a good idea. I think you guys cut it right now.
Let's have a debate. Oh my God, that's
I've been reelected 21 years in a row. I'm undefeated, and I'm campaigning again.
So proud of you, man. You're like some of these senators that stay for 40 years.
That's so funny.
I'm not leaving.
Hilarious.
So well, by the way, how they make you want to talk about squatters the reverse. When you're getting divorced, you are not, like in New Jersey, I have friends that are getting divorced and they have to stay in the same house as the person they're getting divorced from because the person that leaves could look like they abandoned the property.
Oh my God.
Imagine.
Oh my God.
So now you're getting divorced and you have to stay in the house.
And by the way, if I was the governor, I would say we have to document it to make sure you guys are getting along. So record it, vlog it, because it's so entertaining. Pure entertainment. Here's a Johnson family this afternoon at 6 o'clock.
Yeah. This is my bathroom.
I'm not washing you clothes no more.
Valuetainment. No dinner for you.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny.
This
I
is
want to
why
stay
I left
married,
you.
just like Joe Biden, to the end, till I end my marriage, drooling down a flight of stairs.
And your underwear.
That's it. Well, listen, Tom, we're proud of you, buddy. So, okay.
Looking forward to that.
All right. So let's see what we got here. Next story to go to. Rob, let's go through Ronna McDaniel. Interesting things going on there with Ronna McDaniel. Obviously, she's a sweetheart. A lot of people are. What Vivek did with her was legendary at one of these debates.
Of the Republican
However,
Party.
so she comes in. NBC gives her a contract. I think it's 200. It's what is it, Tom?
300.
300 for 2 years. And let me read the contract so you kind of get an idea, and then you'll see what some people are talking about it. The people at NBC lost their minds, coming together saying we got to get rid of her. There's no way she should have a job here. Ronna McDaniel expected to be paid out for her $600,000 NBC contract. Fully to be paid by NBC for being dropped after just 4 days of announcing she was joining the network as a political contributor. The ex-RNC chair's contract was $300,000 a year for 2 years. Politico reported with her lone appearance on NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday that lasted less than 20 minutes. That amounts to $30,000 a minute. She made $500 a second. McDaniel has not spoken publicly about her short-lived tenure since the announcement on Tuesday evening from NBC that she was being dropped, but Politico reports that she is lawyering up and spoke with Brian Friedman on Tuesday about her legal options, even beyond recording the money from her original contract. Rob, do you have a couple new videos based on some of the reactions people are having? Go ahead and play this one. Here's Joy Reid and Rachel Maddow.
Our chairman of the NBC Universal News Group, Cesar Conde, who we both know very well, he sent a memo that we all got as employees here, rescinding the hiring of Ronna Romney McDaniel. And I know I felt very strongly about it. I know you felt very strongly about it. I think everyone from 4 o'clock on, from Nicole all the way to midnight, we all felt very strongly and said so on our respective shows yesterday. And I just have to say, when somebody does the right thing, I feel like it should be acknowledged as publicly as we acknowledged our outrage. And so I know how I feel about it. I am grateful to Cesar for actually making the right decision. I think it was the right decision, but I want to get your take as well.
Oh, well, thank you for asking me about it. I still feel like I still feel like a little it always feels wrong to talk about things, in the company as if it's news. And it's just this. It's not the way either you or I are wired. I know, but I will just say that journalists are a fractious bunch. And in our big company with all sorts of different journalistic entities, you have all sorts of different people working in this business, doing all sorts of different kinds of work. And to see the essentially unanimous feeling among all the journalists in this building and all the sort of senior staff and all the producers and everybody in this building about this was one thing. But then to see the executives and the leadership hear that and respond to it and be willing to change course based on it, based on their respect for us.
It's called a coup, and you should be ashamed of yourself if you run that company.
And that's why you're an echo chamber.
Exactly.
That's also why your ratings suck.
Yeah, and by the way, listen, Ronna McDaniel, I can care less. I mean, just going up, Vivek said, and we were there, I'm sick and tired of this Republican establishment that has made us the party of losers. All right, where's the accountability? Ronna McDaniel, since she was in, he goes, losing 2018, 2020, 2022, 2023. It almost seems like, to me, I'm always that guy looking, from a different angle. It's almost as if they wanted Alina. I know, Adam, we talked about this last week. Like, they were like, Alina, they were like, hey, Ronna, go in there and just lose your ass off. Make them lose. And when you're done, we'll give you a job. We'll give you a job at MSNBC. We'll give you $600,000. And guess what happened? The employee said, whoa, you guys didn't run that shit by us. Because at the end of the day, anything different than these two or Chuck Todd, I would love to see that. It would have been a change.
Yeah, but they're threatened by that.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah.
I want to hear another person. At least give us a new face. Like, be honest, have you ever sat and heard Rachel Maddow for her whole segment? It's excruciating. I try to 5
days a week.
By the way,
it's called mental toughness. That's how you.
People take,
if you can do it, you're gonna be mentally tough.
Oh my God! What do you mean? And I heard this. The terrorists that we catch, and we want to find out if they have information. The hell with torturing them. Just tie them up. Play MSNBC Rachel Maddow. They will spill all the. They'll be like, just don't play her.
Yeah, but
please.
they like that stuff because that's how they got in.
Oh,
and they got a check.
Yeah, no shit.
The reality is, Ronna McDaniel is now the poster child for being politically homeless.
Adam, first of all, your voice is already bad, and you're distancing yourself from the mic. Like, get closer to the mic guy.
Trying to respect the mic.
Yeah. Get close to the mic.
Ronna McDaniel is the poster child for being politically homeless at this point. She's got nowhere to go. She's not going to go to the left. She's not going to the right.
Well, that's what
it used to be. Liz Cheney. It used to be Adam Kinzinger. She's what is it?
She's in nowhere.
Exactly.
Right now.
And that's sort of symbolic of where we're at in politics. You're either far left in the Bernie camp, or on the right with MAGA with Trump, or you're done.
Yeah.
So
what is she like? What like? Because obviously she wants to work. What do you do?
She does nothing. At this point.
Do you do now?
She becomes a lobbyist.
Yeah, probably that's it. Well, I mean, she just made $600,000, bro. For how long was she on there? For half an hour?
20 minutes.
20
$30,000.
Well, if she got paid out.
Well, look, there's a well-worn path. The well-worn path is at the end of an administration or when you leave your job in government, and it doesn't matter whether you're working for Republicans or Democrats, there's a path that's a well-worn path that goes to New York, and you either go to book publishers or you become a commentator. It's there. Jen Psaki's got her show. They all go there to continue to spout, their drivel, or to write a book that's got to tell all of some juicy encounters with, and then you have to be sexual about some lobbyist did this, we did this, legislation was this. And that's the game that's played. And Cesar Conde is the guy that was running the nonprofit inside of a cable company called MSNBC. And he was attempting to hire somebody to diversify and to get something that he doesn't have right now, ratings. And guess what? It backfired because the inmates are running the asylum. And now the employees are saying, no, you don't get to hire that guy. We're all upset about it. And I think most of them, the word that was used here was threatened. I think they were threatened. They know that conservative views or anything that's on a conservative side tends to get ratings. So it is a threat to them, despite Ronna McDaniel's flaws.
But it's both sides, Tom. But it's both sides. Let me explain to you. The right is the same way as well.
I agree.
Some of the podcasters, when we announced Cuomo's joining the crew, right? Oh my God, I can't believe it though. Biggest, huge F up,
I'm unsubscribing.
Yeah, and guess what happened? The next live was the biggest ever, and the next live, and the next live, and just us, how home team. Yeah. This Tuesday was the biggest live on YouTube worldwide, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So sometimes when you make a decision knowing there's going to be some
But that makes noise.
Yeah.
Noise
Guess
is
what?
good.
You're a leader. Stand up for yourself. You're worried about people bitching about. So guess who's running the? What's that saying? The inmates are running the asylum. Right. I mean, that's NBC right now.
1,000%.
NBC's being ran by the inmates, and you're afraid because you brought in Ronna McDaniel. By the way, it's the perfect person they brought in. She was ready to throw Trump under the bus like it's the ideal Republican you were bringing in. And I'm not saying she was going to throw
the view girl that they brought in.
But point being is, it was a perfect person for that.
I think so.
It's an establishment Republican that was coming in. Keep her. It's going to be very hard to find, somebody like that that's coming in from being the RNC chair. But I actually think this is a loss for NBC, and it's a bad look for the leaders at the top of NBC.
I think so. And who's the CEO of MSNBC? Rashida Jones? Who is it? Who's the CEO?
No, it's Cesar Conde is the guy who leads the whole thing.
But who's the CEO?
I've heard that name. I think she may be the news division executive vice president or something.
So basically, can you Tom? That's like, think about this. That's like Patrick bringing Cuomo, me, you, and Adam going on our own podcast and going, what the hell is wrong
not
with
on your own podcast,
I would love for you guys to do it.
I should have done one of those. Hi, guys. Late breaking.
Love it.
What the F is Patrick doing? He got Cuomo? What? I know Pat's head would just come into the scene like, hi, Patrick. And you nailed it. Like, what kind of CEO are you?
No. And the next day, you're at Starbucks talking to someone saying, would you like non-fat milk?
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I look like the guy that was on there. That's not me.
Why is Vinny at Starbucks
podcast
now?
Yeah.
Guy pulls me aside. I'm in St. Augustine. He says, do people ever tell you look like Patrick Bet David?
I get that
all the time.
Do
Does anybody ever tell you look like Trump's lawyer? I go, oh my God, I hear that
all the time.
By the way, half the time I'm in like a Home Goods and I don't want people to know.
Of course, yeah.
You know what? I can't stand her. Did you see what she did the other day with?
Yeah, what a. By the way, you want me to tell you what happened to me yesterday? I was in a store and somebody said to me, I heard the girls over in the corner saying you're on the news a lot. What news station? And I said, if you're asking me that,
you're not
want to know.
That's so funny.
And she goes, what news? I said, Fox. And she goes, oh, you're right. And I was like, bye now.
Bye. Go watch The View.
In fairness, I go on CNN. I do.
No,
I'm not afraid of the others. I think that's, by the way, where we need to be heard.
Would you love to be on The View for an episode? Like if they were just like, hey, I mean, they would never ever
I have said on national television, they've played clips of them talking about me. And I've said this on, I think I was on Hannity or somebody, and they played a clip and I was like, where's my invite?
Yeah. I would love to see their audience. I wish the camera flipped once just to see the audience of The View. Oh my God! Imagine what that bunch.
Rachel Maddow's never invited me.
No, of course not. And what a great point.
Kaylin Collins has. She has.
Yeah.
And I've gone on with
CNN.
her.
Yeah.
And we had a really respectful conversation. And and then of course she invites an ex-Trumper to talk about me and be nasty. But I think that that's what's missing in our country.
I think so too.
Fully agree.
Why can't you just talk?
Yep.
Stop talking about me. Talk to me.
Yep.
I'm clearly available.
Yep.
Sit there, talk to me, and talk about it. Let's talk about it. We don't have to be on the same side, but we don't have to bash.
Yeah. Because
Echo chambers are killing our country.
Because if you notice this, I think
to each other.
Pat, you did a shout out for somebody. You challenged somebody. When have you ever seen a Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, have they ever left their little room, their little audience, and come to talk to somebody different? How about get the hell out of there?
Do it in a respectful way. Are you capable of doing that?
They can't do it. They would never do it because guess what? They don't have an audience that's told when to applaud, told when to ooh, because they would have no argument. Because by the way, I watched a clip. Joy Behar is talking to the guests, but she's reading a teleprompter or something on the side. It's not you. You're just a mouthpiece. And you nailed it. If we can't have that conversation, that dialogue, you're just there because Joy Reid got caught too. Remember that time where they cut to and she's like, another effing war?
Yeah.
She doesn't even believe it. She's doing it for the money.
Yeah.
And what's your price?
They've figured it out, Vinny. They figured it out because if you go back 12 years ago, they used to invite Ann Coulter on. And Ann Coulter would kick people's asses. And so they sat back there, okay, strong, educated woman who's highly professional. Maybe we don't want this girl on here kicking the ass
Dana
of our
Bash.
host.
Me on Dana Bash. Did you see the clip of me with Dana Bash?
I have
Can
not.
you look at it?
Oh.
I want to see it. Rob.
Oh.
Is it good?
Oh.
How long is that moment?
Not that long, but she was bringing up things from 20.
Oh, this one's fantastic.
I went crazy.
I love how you ended it. Have you
What?
seen?
Please,
Are
can
you
we see it? Is that
talking-
okay?
Zoom in. Watch this.
Oh, I love the
Beast
fight.
mode.
Beast mode, yeah.
That he's going to win.
No, we got music. Has music.
Well, she was
put something
asking
else.
me about the women that came out of the woodwork from 2016.
Yeah.
This was like right before the Carroll case or something. I'm like, wait, I'm sorry. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
It hit me. I was like, that's the desperation. And I just went ham.
Ham on her?
Ham. And by the way, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, that's what you have to do.
Which
you
one is
can't play those games with me.
Oh,
It's not right, and it's just not right.
They probably don't even have it on there. 'Cause
Dana
you won.
Bash? No, they won't.
They probably.
No.
That's funny. They didn't even have
They
it on
literally flipped out. They flipped out. They were like, we can't have Habba on CNN.
Get her
There
the
it
hell
is.
out of
Yeah,
here.
there
You got
it
the
is.
producer in her ear. Commercial.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
they-
Anderson Cooper with the rape.
There it is. Is that it, Rob?
That's it. That's the
Yes. Well, don't let's not watch the ad. But wait, so for something like that, Alina, they reach out to you and they're like, "Hey, we want you to come talk to her."
one. Yeah, I don't reach out to people.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't reach out to
Yeah,
people.
what are you
They reach
talking
out to
about?
me.
Oh, this is it.
This is it.
You feel completely comfortable with the fact that the money, some of the money that President Trump has used in his defense comes from political donations, and that you believe that that is different.
You have to go to the women
from
part.
a donation
Where's the woman
that is
Go to the
given
women
by
part.
Oh, the-
a
Where she starts asking me about
political
women.
Case for the first
Yeah,
case
back.
that she brought.
Keep going. You'll see facial reactions from Alina. Keep
Alina's.
going.
Alina's.
I don't have
You're gonna
a
see-
poker
You're gonna
face.
see smoke coming out of her ears. Then stop.
This was specifically about sexual
my-
assault
Here
today
you go.
and defamation. Before I let you go,
That's right. It was money.
Yeah.
my final question to you is, I mentioned that there are 15 women
There you go.
altogether who have alleged that Trump sexually harassed or assaulted them. Are you concerned that more
Are we talking
of
about
this,
2016? Hold on.
Are you concerned
I have
that
not
all
gotten a
told,
complaint from
all
15
told,
women.
all told, that not that you've gotten complaints that have come public, that have become public. Are you concerned that this
Since
case
20,
that we've
are you
seen
talking
today,
about 2016? Is that
are
the
you
desperation
concerned-
that we're at right
are
now?
you concerned? Are you concerned that the case that we saw today, that it is maybe just the beginning, that other
Look,
criminal
great. That's a
action
bad smile when
could
I give that smile. You're in
be in the
trouble.
future?
No,
Not
I
at all.
think you're concerned that he's going to win, which is why you're bringing up 2016 things, because you have nothing to bring up. That's what I think you're concerned. And you should be concerned. He's leading in the polls.
Okay. I'm a journalist. I am not concerned about anything. I'm
Yeah, you are.
asking
Oh,
you,
yes, you
are. Yeah, you are.
as one of his attorneys, about things that are out there, and in
Okay.
addition to what you
Since
are here to talk.
2016, is that what we're talking about? Great.
I'm
Are
talking
you
about
talking about
things that are-
20? Give me a year. These 15 women. Are we talking about 2016 when he was
It's-
running and almost won and then did win?
It is not relevant.
doesn't
what-
matter.
It's not
Yeah.
relevant.
Yeah.
It's relevant.
No,
you
it's
just
not.
asked me about 15 women. I don't have 15 women that have come forth with a claim.
Okay.
Where are they?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't
Look
have
at her.
them.
She lost.
I
You're
didn't say
talking
that
about
they
something
came.
from
I didn't say that they
2016 and they didn't
came
bring a
forward with
claim.
the claim. I said that they have made
No, you
public
did.
statements. I said they have made public statements. And my question
in
was,
2016,
are you
and
concerned
you
about
have
this?
nothing for
Okay.
2024.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
And I wish you
very
could just
much
go into her
appreciate it.
screen.
And
She goes, thank you for your
I hope
time.
to talk soon
Thank you.
because
Yeah,
there's a lot more to discuss as you
Hope
go on
so.
with your appeal.
Yeah.
Hope so.
As soon as
I have not been invited back.
I would pay to see what she said about you right when the camera stopped.
Yeah.
Like,
Vinny,
get that.
Look
outta here.
at Dana Bash. That is an example of a journalist that half of that she didn't want to be there.
She didn't.
She's on a
she's
segment
reading.
and she's sensing where this is going, and she does not want to continue the line of questioning.
Yeah.
She's got the teleprompter. She's got the thing in her ear. She's not a journalist. She's a talking head, and that's the segment they were going to run.
Let's
And you can-
transition. Let's leave her alone.
Let's leave
She's not-
Bash.
she's
You got
having a hard
bashed.
time right now. Give her some space.
Got bashed.
So next, did you guys hear about the announcement? The Nickelodeon new CEO. Did you hear about this? Like out of everybody they could have hired as a new CEO. Did you hear about?
No, this isn't.
Breaking news. Go ahead, Rob. Play the
No,
Nickelodeon's.
it's not Diddy.
Nickelodeon just announced
What?
Diddy hired as a new president of Nickelodeon Studios, according to Babylon Bee. which by the way,
oh my God,
very
terrible.
strategic. Why
Not
would
Disneyland?
Nickelodeon hire
Disneyland.
Diddy at a time like this?
That's kind of weird.
Well, maybe he needs to pay for a legal defense fund.
Or maybe it's a satire
Babylon B, it's a
website for the
satire-
people
yes,
that
I
are
was just gonna
freaking
say,
out
it's
right now.
Babylon B.
By the way,
It's funny.
honestly,
They do funny stuff.
This is obviously. There's nothing funny about what Nickelodeon did with Schneider, nothing. And there's nothing funny about what he's doing. But what a interesting angle for Babylon B to take the story to say that Diddy's not going there. Now,
I don't even know if that's a current picture.
No, it's the foot
of Diddy. There was a more updated picture.
Yeah,
recently.
we'll
there he is.
That's the updated photo of Diddy. That's you
I don't know if you
posted
saw
that.
that recently.
Antonio Brown posted that.
No, he didn't.
Antonio Brown posted.
Who?
Antonio.
There's no way Antonio Brown posted that.
AB posted
Can
that.
you go to his Twitter? I want to see.
Are you saying that AB would never post a picture like that?
City.
Well, Chris from Value Tech, Chris is like, Vinny, he sent me this and said...
There's no way he posted that.
Keep going.
I believe he did.
He's got a bunch.
I believe he did.
Okay.
Can we?
By the way,
wait.
directed by Dan Schneider.
You don't understand.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
But the soundtrack is by.
What was the soundtrack by? R.
Kelly.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my!
Can we address?
No. It's just a parody.
The lawyer is
It's
quiet.
just a parody.
Like, I'm not getting sued for defamation. You guys are going down alone.
Let's keep.
Can we address some of the legal allegations on this? Is this something that we can even?
Is that where you're going?
Yeah, I'd like to know
Trafficking.
from a legal standpoint,
Trafficking.
what this case is even looking like. Have they even arrested Diddy yet? What like? I know you're not handling this case whatsoever, but everybody is talking about this. It's nonstop.
Yeah.
Here we go. These two stepbrothers are out here. From a legal standpoint, what does this look like? The raid, FBI?
So, I mean, you're asking me about a raid when I've seen raids happen to my clients that have no business happening. I understand that there was a plane with one of his, they called it his drug runner, his 25-year-old kid.
Going to Antigua.
He was arrested. I know that. I know that obviously there are accusations of trafficking. And you've seen a lot of reels been coming up about, that's his, that gentleman was arrested.
His drug mule.
Drug mule, exactly. And, his homes were raided. Obviously, he wasn't arrested. He was on a plane, I believe, somewhere near St. Bart's or in the Caribbean somewhere, and he was able to leave the country. Obviously, there's no warrant out for his arrest. We would know about that. So something is going on. Do I necessarily believe everything I see? No. I've gotten a bit past that in the past 3 years. So we'll wait and see. And I think everybody has a right to have their day in court. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. You don't know. You don't know. And by the way, I'm still waiting on the list from Epstein.
How crazy! And you know what I'm waiting for? Show us 1 minute from one of the cameras that he had in his house. Just one of them, because a report came out yesterday that somebody showed a little camera when they did the FBI raid. They were everywhere in the house.
But that's
little
what they do.
That's what they do to blackmail you.
I saw it in with Trump with Mar-a-Lago, and I was with the president when that raid happened. I was with him in New York, and I was sitting there when we got the call that your home is currently being raided. And over documents, and he had a right to have that Biden didn't. Okay, so we're sitting here watching this hypocrisy, and I have to say, you don't know. I never know. He had an ex-girlfriend, I think, that was upset, or ex-fiance. She made accusations. They obviously have to do what they have to do to investigate those. Those are serious crimes. Sex trafficking, real sex trafficking, anything with minors, I have no tolerance for.
Are you talking about Cassie?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to show you two clips. Here's Usher on Howard Stern. Rob, how long is the clip that you have? Is this when he asks him about
Puffy
this is
flavor camp?
Yeah, go ahead and play this. Watch
It's
it.
about a minute, right? Yeah. Okay. Wait till the end, though.
To New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to something
City.
called Puffy Flavor
He's 13 at the time.
Adam, let us hear it. Go back 5
that's
seconds, please. Go back, because what he called it right there is what's key. Go ahead.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to something
City.
called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really.
Not really.
Hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. And it was but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking
that's
place.
called rape.
And I didn't necessarily understand.
When you're 13. and an
Biggie Smalls
adult
was
does
there.
Biggie Smalls was there. Lil' Kim, Craig Mack.
All these people are hanging around.
Yeah, man. Faith Evans.
your
Jodeci,
parents were
Mary J.
okay?
Blige.
Yeah, good
they
job.
know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
I was having a good time. You know what I mean?
You're 13.
Did you have to doing any chores? Are you doing dishes at all? I mean, to keep you
Doing
humble
Diddy.
somewhat?
So
or are you
crazy.
just like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And do you have
can pause it.
money?
Okay.
How is that how is that normal at any time?
Do you have the part where they said, "Would you let your kids go there?" He goes,
keep playing.
"Hell no."
Keep playing it, Rob, because I think it's at the end.
Yeah.
Per diem.
Yeah.
I had like,
Yeah, you're
like
like
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old. You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy camp?
Hell no.
See?
Yeah, that's the thing. Right?
Concerning.
I have kids. I don't even post. And then, the Twitter trolls will be, we're her kids. Well, I'm protecting them. And this is sad. I mean, this is sad. And this one with Bieber.
This is the
same
Bieber
thing.
one? Yeah.
Where are the parents?
Yeah, and which parent would say, you know what? We don't know you. We know that you're a celebrity. Go and hang out with this guy for weeks on end by yourself. And at what time, at what era is this cool?
In the most critical years, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. How is this, Alina?
They
have you
both
seen this clip?
turn-
How is this normal?
They both turn into superstars.
Yeah.
That's the sacrifice you make.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the sacrifice. But one of them had to go to church and he freaking lost his mind. Can you play this one? How's this?
You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
What the?
I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So
Jesus.
and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
What?
That's disturbing, by the way.
Why?
That's disturbing.
What does that have to do with making music?
Yeah. That's
Absolutely.
Who is this guy, Rob? Who's the girl?
I believe this is a former dancer of Diddy's who talks. She doesn't give specifics, but she talks about some of the things that she witnessed while she was there.
Play the clip.
Oh, yeah. We all have stories. Seriously, we all have stories. Mine is horrific, and only 5 people know it.
Well, you're about to be called
And
as a
I probably
witness.
will never tell it.
Yeah,
But
you're about to get subpoenaed.
Since then, I've been
Really?
like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and I
she's
also
done.
am very
She's-
intimately aware that you tell your truth and you become victimized over and over and over and over and over and over. And mind you, I then interviewed him many times. I have a lot of stories, y'all. I've been in Hollywood for 25 years, maybe longer, 30. I got a lot of stories. Unfortunately, maybe I'll write a book one day. But it just is so traumatizing that women just want to live every day and feel safe. And when we revisit, we live in a state of victimhood. And nobody wants to live there. So for those of you who are like, why didn't you say something then? Because we just want to live. We want to be happy. And we really want to forget the trauma. So there's that.
Well,
not gonna be called.
Diddy made a statement
Diddy's
recently.
lawyer made a statement. Or
This is something that Diddy wrote right prior to everything was going on.
He called it a witch hunt, I think.
Yeah, he called it a witch hunt.
Yeah.
Vinny, you want to read this?
For the last couple of weeks, and Rob, I just sent you something too, if you could please show that. For the last couple of weeks, I've sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me, my individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this came out, Joy Reid, MSNBC. This guy said one of his friends was an intern, and look what Diddy said for him to get the intern job. Check this out. I saw this last night.
Disturbed many years ago. Okay, I know this man well enough to call him and say, hey, I need a favor.
Yeah.
And this might have been 10, 12 years ago that I called him and say, hey, I have a family member who I want you to hire them as an intern.
Diddy, let's talk about Diddy.
I have never talked about this publicly. And he said yes. And they were flying around, one of the interns, Atlanta, Miami, whatever, on the jet, in the house, whatever. And then the internship stopped abruptly, like 3 or 4 months into it.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my family member, like, well, what happened? And they wouldn't say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did it end? He wouldn't say. And years later, they finally came out, and this a male, and said that Puff had said, come home, stay the night with me, or the internship is over. And they said, absolutely not. He said, absolutely not. And the internship ended. But from there, I was like, oh.
Like, think about it. Diddy said, listen, you want this job? Come, let's hook up, and then you can get the job. And the guy said no. Like, I think it's, when are we going to stop pretending that Hollywood, the music industry, all these people from Epstein, it's not a secret, but we all kind of just, we brush it away. It's a real serious problem.
Mace is being interviewed. Rob, just check to see if there's audio music in it or no.
This is Mace?
If you can check.
Where the hell's he been?
Music.
Oh my God, Mace.
So check this out. So Mace, this is Mace in 2002.
Okay.
He steps away. He's the guy that stepped away. And look what he saes in this interview. This is 22 years ago. Go. And by the way, Mace is an OG guy.
OG in church. He went to church.
Yeah.
All is well with him. Have you spoken to Puff lately? Do y'all talk or what? Well, actually, we not really on speaking terms, but I still pray for the dude, and I pray that all is well with him.
Okay. Well, P. Diddy's supposed to be releasing a gospel album. What came to your mind when you heard that? What thoughts did you have?
Y'all want me to answer that?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, can RuPaul put out a gospel album?
Can you imagine? Wow.
But don't you think that everybody can express themselves?
Definitely.
And if he,
they can. You ask me, I'm just answering.
Wow. Actually, can RuPaul create a gospel item?
He's basically saying a gay man, can he put out
and Mace is not a pushover, lightweight guy. This guy.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I actually played basketball with Mace a couple years ago. I was like, oh, what are you up to these days? He's like, just with my kids and God, man. Just my kids and God. I was like, good for you, bro. Rob, I don't know if we can play that TikTok thing we talked about with a guy. It's like a procession of, I told this was about to happen. I told it this was about to happen. I told this was about to happen.
Yeah, the one.
Story and story and story and story. Look, innocent until proven guilty. We get it. Something's fishy out here with Diddy. Yeah. We all know that.
No, more than fishy. What do you mean? Yeah. It's in the ocean and there's fish on you. What are you talking about? Fishy.
Jaws out here.
Like, and again, why would you stop saying fishy? It's there. Like Epstein exposed it. Epstein got caught and they suicided him in jail. Let's stop pretending this game. Diddy, and I'm tired of hearing if there's smoke, there's fire. The house has burned to the ground, bro. How many more people is it going to take to be like, okay, he actually... I was molested or raped.
I don't understand why he wasn't arrested.
That's what I'm saying. What are we talking about?
If that's truly, if they had enough to go raid the home, or, we'll see what comes now. So they arrested people, they raided the home, we'll see what they found, and then, what it is.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're looking for, pedophilia?
Exactly. Like, is there a warrant for him? Because
you have to go to a judge. And there's an emergent judge for these kinds of things. And you say, look, we've done an investigation. We've interviewed these people in a special proceeding or a grand jury, and we have reason to believe XYZ. We would like to go raid. Mm-hmm. And then the judge signs off on it. So there is a procedure for that.
So, but and I'm so confused because, like, for instance, the Cassie thing, right? She comes out, she does all these depositions, she does all these things, and we see she's written it. She's deposed, whatever affidavit she signed, and she's like, they drugged me, they raped me, they did all this.
Where's the DA?
These are crimes.
Where's
right?
the DA?
How and money just shuts it and it goes away? No, pay her, but you have to do time. You have to come and face the legal ramifications for drugging and raping women, and God knows what he's doing with kids. How does that work?
Yeah. I got a video that I obviously we're not going to play this video.
Okay.
Well,
but
not the audio one, please.
Of course, we're not going to play this video.
Did you get this one working, by the way, Rob?
The video that there's this video with the audio of a security guy says, I don't drink champagne because he always spikes the champagne and there's things where guys pass out and then boom. And he says,
seriously,
I never want to see that vision from you again. And then boom.
And then boom.
But this guy who is in the room, allegedly, I think it's me. The video.
It's an audio recording.
It's the audio recording, and he's putting it out on TikTok. It's gone viral. It's pretty fun. I'm not going to play that clip, but go ahead and play this clip, Rob. This is when? This is December 14, 2023. Go ahead.
But there's multiple videos.
Just play one of them. The first one, Rob. Go ahead.
Some storages or some of Puffy properties be getting raided real soon.
This is 3 months ago.
They need to get to those tapes.
Oh, wow.
They get one of those tapes.
Yep.
With him with those little people that's been making the accusations.
Little people.
Woo! Man. Done.
Wow.
But Puffy the type he'll blow his brains out. Guarantee you.
Holy shit.
Or do like he did on that corkscrew lie. How he did. The next thing that's going to be happening, and after this is now you're going to start seeing some criminal investigations getting opened.
Psychic.
And because when you get too much of this smoke, law enforcement generally gets involved. So that'll be the next thing that will be happening to Puffy, unfortunately. For his sake, y'all know I'm one that believes if you ain't getting psychological help, getting some type of help.
You can pause right
So let me ask you guys a question. So there's a couple of things happening. When he's talking about, and this was in, what month was it, Rob?
February.
So it's January, February, and March.
So January, he's predicting, which apparently he's psychic.
He does multiple predictions up until the actual raid.
Yeah, he's obviously a cooperating witness.
Yeah, for sure.
He's not predicting.
So what does that mean?
Cooperating witness.
Meaning
he's talking to the feds.
Yeah.
He's the Fed.
Yeah.
There's
no question that guy's going to be on the stage. So he doesn't have ESP. The guy clearly was working with the government.
Yeah.
And
it's not Nostradamus. He has a deal.
Yeah. But so there's two things though. When they're saying that they're looking for those tapes, he could be talking about obviously the law enforcement, the Department of Justice. They could also be talking about what about the powers that be, because the powers that be that killed Jeffrey Epstein, and I'm going to say they killed Jeffrey Epstein. Imagine those phone calls, Alina, where they're like, you pick up the phone, it's like, hey, listen, this is going to come out. He's going to jail. He's arrested. He's in prison. He's going to talk because we have the footage. What do we do with him? How much of an option? Like, what's the percentage you guys would put that the powers that be, the real people that are on the sticks, mind you,
like the Boeing guy. Did you hear about the Boeing whistleblower?
Yeah, the guy that was so overwhelmed by exposing them, he shot himself in his head in his car after telling friends and family, I would never kill myself. Yeah. There's a weird trend going around where when you speak the truth.
We're interviewing the lawyer in 2.5 hours.
I love that.
Yeah.
One lawyer?
Yeah. We're interviewing the main lawyer in 2.5 hours.
Are you suicidal?
No.
You feel
curious.
good?
I'm not suicidal.
I'm not suicidal. Right? I love my life.
Me too.
I love my life.
Tom, you love your life?
Very much so.
Okay, good.
We're all in agreement on
Everybody
this.
loves life.
Thank you.
I love life. We all love life.
Rob, you say it too, Rob.
Rob, say it. Put your pants on. Okay,
there we go. We're all good.
That's good. By the way, the whole Baltimore bridge thing, and then let's wrap up with the last Baltimore bridge thing. It's a little weird stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
You know, do you have the video, Rob? Do you have the video that it keeps backing up, moving, backing up, moving, backing up, moving at 1:30 in the morning, and then eventually until it's like straight.
It's like a video game where you didn't know how to park.
It's like me driving.
Oh, it was an accident.
You can ask my friends. They won't get in the car with me.
Yeah.
They're like,
if
Habba.
Alina was right.
And I like fast cars. It's not good.
Me
Not a
too.
good combo.
Me too. Love fast cars.
Go ahead, Rob. Is this
So
the
this
one?
is sped up.
So it looks,
Look,
okay, let me
it's
back up. I'm not direct on it yet.
Coming right, look, boom, bro.
Oh, that's how it happened?
Yeah.
Yes, Adam, that's sped up. That's sped up. That looks.
It was the ship that did it?
Yeah, where the hell have you been?
Well, when we covered it the other day, we didn't have this video.
Oh yeah, no, we
you thought it was a freaking cyber attack, Vinny.
No, hold on. Hold on. Okay, thank you, Adam, for leading me into what I'm going to say. So last month, and I talked about
Do you still think it's a cyber attack?
No, hold on. That look, because guess what? The guy's, Adam, to me, that looks like the movie Leave the World Behind.
You're looking at me like I'm crazy.
And
that's because I'm asking you if it was a cyber
I
attack.
want to know then why.
So it was a
you're
freaking
not-
ship.
All I'm saying is, guys, and again, this is speculation. Nobody knows shit.
There's the
I've heard
legal
a lot.
waiver.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
I learned
He
from my
needs to
friend.
utilize
He
that.
just gave you a waiver, folks. No doubt.
Vinny, hire Alina Habba.
Well, guess what? Already my lawyer.
Really good lawyer.
Last month,
I can't get videos though in of anybody.
who knows? But I've been watching a lot of interviews of people that were in the Coast Guard, and there's so many questions of where's the tugboat, where's the lead boat, where's all. This is such a strange. And Rob, you nailed it. It hit in the main spot. You have to go under this thing.
Backs
it looks
up and then goes back.
Yeah, it looks to me like it's purposely trying to go off it. The route of the ship turned around, Adam, and came back to this part. And last month I reported this. Biden issued an EO embedding CISA, C-I-S-A, into the cybersecurity. And the main thing was vessels, harbors, ports, waterfront facilities. I'm just saying, after watching Leave the World Behind, shout out Barack and Michelle for trying to scare the shit out of people. It looks like that. The opening of the movie is a cargo ship coming into the beach and landing on the thing, and the whole movie's about cyber attack. We're not gonna know. We're never gonna know. And here's my thing, because I know I'll forget it. The next day, within 4 hours, 5 hours, Rob, the president of the United States, Joe Biden, comes up and goes, hey, listen, the federal government is going to pay for all of it. And people are like, wait a minute, don't they have insurance? He's like, yeah, because when there's an insurance claim, you have to do all the research and all the investigation. There's no investigation when the federal government pays.
With your legal acumen,
yes,
give us your assessment.
Assessment on this?
As a lawyer.
I'm just saying.
Prosecutor Oshana.
First of all, let's give a shout out, Pete Buttigieg. Since he's been office,
not Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. Am I Buttigieg? So listen, by the way, since this guy's been in, by the way, never hire just some little lawyer. I mean, my bad, a little mayor. Since he's been in, Ohio train derailment. Airplanes are falling out of the freaking sky, doors flying off. This is happening. If he was working at McDonald's flipping burgers, he would have been fired on day one. He's the guy that goes on maternity leave, paternity leave, whatever, as if one of him or his husband pushed out a child. This is what you get when that guy is in charge.
That wasn't a child.
That was not. But Rob, what are you going to say?
It's just odd the way that it's a very unfortunate circumstance. 6 people died.
Yeah, God rest their souls.
Overnight workers working graveyard shift.
But Tom, look how far apart those pillars are from the bridge, and it makes direct contact. It's not like the side of it hit it. It hit it dead on, and look how much space is between those two pillars. Yeah. That to me is very freaky.
Yeah,
I have a question
at
for you.
1:30 in the morning.
At 1:30, where that's not too crazy.
Vinny, no disrespect.
I'm talking about lawyers.
This is why you pay for a good lawyer, not a court-appointed attorney.
Look at how we wore the same. I wore pink on purpose. Go ahead.
Coordinated. Wait, so going back to you, because you definitely are very passionate about many things, as I've seen since, but Epstein is one of them, right? Why is Ghislaine still alive?
That's a very good question.
I'm so glad you asked Counsel Oshana.
I want to know.
From the Comedy Cellar.
Why hasn't she been off then?
Well, because then that's extremely obvious for them to kill both of them. Because why isn't she speaking though? Why hasn't she told them where the tapes are?
Vinny,
she knows everything.
It's called double jeopardy. Yep. You learned that in law school,
yes,
Oshana.
I did. Yes,
we all know this.
Vinny, why do you think?
Why do you think they didn't kill her? I think they can't because then it's too obvious. Then it's like there's no question.
I think she's protected.
She's 100%.
She's protected. She cut some deal and she's protected.
So, they'll never kill her. By the way, she looks... Have you seen her? Somebody did a shot of her through a fence. She looks like...
Or she has the money or something, and the money is going to...
Or a kill switch. Like, she's like, oh, you guys kill me? And then guess what? Everything's going to be uploaded.
Yeah, she's not stupid. I don't think she's a stupid... I think she's...
But that's her right there. She looks like the Red Queen from Game of Thrones when she took off the necklace. That's what you turn into. Rob, remember? She was like, she turned into the old chick. That's what she... That's a demon right there. That's adrenochrome on the left, and that's her without adrenochrome on the right.
By the way,
she is very, very sick.
Rob, how old is she, by the way?
Who cares?
29.
Does she spend the rest of her life in prison? Does she die in prison?
I want to know when the trial's going to be.
Never.
Okay.
Because if it was Trump, the trial would have already happened.
Oh. So
How come
how soon
Trump's
should this
trials happen in 6 months, but this chick is sitting in jail and nobody's touched her and we have no list? I rest my case.
Such a valid question. 62 years old. But what is the legal precedent on someone like this? How long does she just sit in jail with no trial?
She should have had trial.
That's what I'm saying. How long does this go on?
I can't tell you because the law doesn't matter right now.
Ask Manuel Noriega.
You would have to ask. Yeah, I can't tell you because it makes no sense. There is absolutely no reason. Actually, what they would do in something like this is have an expedited trial. But instead, they're settling the civil cases. And look at who settled the cases. Wasn't it a banker?
J.P. Morgan.
J.P. Morgan settled with the girls.
The girls. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Explain that to me. That says it all.
Interesting.
Basic question, by the way.
Yeah.
Why is it something you can get that quickly to the bottom of, but you can't with this? What's more important? Somebody like you're saying was undervalued on a property, or allegedly a bunch of kids, underage girls that have been raped and taken advantage of? Why are you taking your time on this? Shouldn't you be more urgent about this matter?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a very good question.
Well, you know why not? Because Bill Clinton was there 52 times. Think about the people that are involved, guys.
I don't.
How are they still walking around?
By the way, I don't even.
But P. Diddy is fleeing. Okay, we know we have photographic evidence of these people. We have witness testimony, and all these girls have done is bring a civil lawsuit for money. Money is not going to help these girls. Okay, money is not. It's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid for a wound that you cannot heal. And I'm talking about real victims, not the BS victims that I've had to deal with.
Alina, are you saying that there's a double standard possibly somewhere?
I want to wrap up last thing. Just play this clip here that I was telling you guys earlier. This just came in yesterday. Go ahead, Rob. Play the clip.
National security and the warnings from the FBI to local, state, and federal law enforcement about the possibility of terror attacks right here in the homeland. CBS News got a look at a new joint bulletin that warns groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS will likely use the Israel-Hamas war to increase calls for violence in the U.S. this holiday season. This bulletin right here says that the most likely primary targets could include churches, synagogues, and members of the Jewish community. Now, today, the FBI director was telling senators that the U.S. is facing the highest risk of attack in years, that there are blinking lights everywhere, and warning terrorists will exploit the southern border. The head of the FBI says the Bureau is working to identify and disrupt these potential attacks, with foreign terrorist groups openly calling for strikes against Americans.
You let them in.
He also said that the number of threats are at a whole other level since the October 7th attack on
why?
Israel.
Is it because it's election season, maybe?
Oh, weird.
Here we go.
And I'm the crazy one.
Now we've got, I'm not crazy.
And I'm saying, and people people I know, because I'm pretty sure in the chat, they're like, okay, that's why I bring a gun to church. That's why. Because of shit like that. Wide open border, and now they're like, hey guys, it's coming. You have to listen to and I'm happy that you played that. We have to listen to shit like this. She's given that predictive program. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Karmic retribution. They have to tell you before it happens. This shit's coming. For them to say it, that means watch out.
It's one of few things. A message like this, breaking news, warning before Easter. It's kind of like COVID. Stay home. Thanksgiving. Don't go to church.
Because if you pray, you may actually believe that this country will be back.
That's right.
There's gonna come a time. I mean, most synagogues at this point have security.
My husband's on the board of his synagogue. And I know that they were discussing the amount of money that the synagogue should put into security for temple. And I am obviously a woman of faith. I believe in all faiths. I go to temple. I go with my husband. I go to church, as everybody knows. But to make people afraid of having faith, I think, is the only way you create fear, because I always say the opposite of fear is faith. So I know when I'm afraid, or when people try and make me afraid in the job that I have and tell you they're going to do this to you, I pray. So you're taking away the one protection, the one cloak that the government can't touch. So now we don't go to church.
Right. And this is what happens next is it starts with the synagogues.
Here we go.
And then it goes to the churches. And it could potentially happen to the mosques. We saw what happened in Russia.
And here comes Biden to save the day, even though he created the problem.
Communist Marxism, the first thing you have to do is undermine the faith and prevent them from assembling.
Right.
Easy formula. Tom, SBF court, real quick. Judge, what's
Kaplan,
going on there?
My judge, Judge Kaplan for Carroll. He was my judge.
You want to
Same judge?
No.
He is actually going to hand down the sentencing today. And it's kind of funny. You know when you negotiate with a friend, if you're selling a car or something like that, and maybe you're a couple dollars apart. Well, The defense lawyers want 6 years for SBF. The recommendation from the federal prosecutors is 50. So they're 4 decades apart, just 4 decades, but it's Kaplan. And Kaplan, we're going to wait and see. Does he go easy on SBF, who gave $5.2 million to the Bidens and over $50 million to 7 different major PACs that supported only Democrat candidates? That SBF, what does Kaplan do today when he hands down sentencing? Does he go light or does he go heavy? Because he was the same judge who
hit Trump with 83. I mean, he was the guy on my case.
Alina, how do you defend someone like this who's just so clearly
wake him up?
I wouldn't.
No, I'm not saying you personally, but how does a lawyer defend someone like this?
There's defenses. I mean, I would plead insanity if you take a look at that picture.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, I would plead insanity, and you know what I would be doing if I was his lawyer? Yeah. I would probably be cutting a deal saying, look, I'm going to throw XYZ. But the problem is the deal that he can give, the names that he can give, they don't want those names. They want the other side. He wasn't involved in our side. He was on the other side. So he's no good to them. So now they got to put him in jail and shut him up.
Oh, yeah. Not those names.
Not those. We don't want those names. Nope. Ghislaine, you're good. No trial. Yeah. You just chill, smoke cigarettes.
Smoke a cigarette and rot in jail.
You're fine.
And by the way, his parents are begging a judge to keep him out of prison, warning their son's social awkwardness could put him in extreme danger.
Aww.
A month ago. That's the story.
What?
Literally listening.
Could you imagine saying my son is so awkward
look at the mom's face.
Put him in jail?
Just go up a little bit.
Oh my God.
No,
show the Rachel Maddow.
Rob, show the picture of the mom.
You know what that is?
That's the father.
Age progression.
That's the father?
Maxwell.
Rob, show the picture of the mom.
No, that is the mom.
Stop it.
Right
Adam.
Look, his mother, Barbara Fried.
Oh,
guys,
my God.
She's the same person that wrote the article with UC Berkeley on we have to stop giving the pressure of responsibility to people because it's too much pressure. Did you see the paper she wrote years ago?
No.
Yeah, Rob, can you pull up that responsibility article paper?
Personal responsibility.
SBF mom on personal responsibility. If you have that, you'll see it. Sam Bankman-Fried's Professor Mother penned a 2013 essay shredding philosophy of personal responsibility. Well, Mom, your son is following your guidance.
Great mother.
Read the
Send him to Puff Island.
She argued that the philosophy of personal responsibility has ruined the criminal justice and economic policy.
As if she knew this day was coming in 11 years.
The name of
that's both economic policy and criminal justice. Her son scored a triple word score on all of that.
All right, gang. Great having you on again.
Alina Habba.
Like 5 minutes. Goes very quick.
That's 20 minutes.
Yeah, we said 20 minutes. We kept it under 20 minutes. Some of us are bad in math, but our guys in the back, we did what we did. But stay tuned, guys. I think we have something that's going to come out later on today or tomorrow with the Boeing lawyer, and we'll announce when that gets done. Aside from that, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Take care, everybody.
Happy Easter.
Bye-bye. Happy Easter. Bye-bye.